Jai Gurudev. Gurudev, the Astavakra Gita is a profound text that discusses non-duality and self-realization. Could you start by explaining its essence? Certainly, the Astavakra Gita is a conversation between the sage Astavakra and King Janaka. Its essence lies in the understanding of the self beyond all physical and mental identifications. Astavakra emphasizes the true knowledge as the realization of the self as pure consciousness unbound by the dualities of the world. What does Astavakra mean by saying I am pure consciousness? Astavakra tells King Janaka that the true self or Atman is pure consciousness free from all attributes and limitations. This means that at our core we are not the body, mind or emotions. We are the awareness that observes these experiences without being affected by them. Recognizing this shifts our perspective from being entangled in the material world or experiencing a state of inner freedom and peace. How does this realization affect our daily life? When we realize that we are pure consciousness, it transforms our perception of life. We become less affected by external circumstances as we understand that our true nature is unchanging and eternal. This realization brings a profound sense of peace and detachment. We start living with more compassion, clarity, and joy. So we no longer identify ourselves with transient emotions and situations. The text often mentions the concept of no bondage, no liberation. Could you elaborate on this? In this state of pure consciousness, the ideas of bondage and liberation are irrelevant. Bondage is the identification with the body and mind, which creates suffering. Liberation is the state of realizing our true nature as pure consciousness. When this realization dawns, we understand that we were never truly bound. Hence, the concept of liberation also becomes redundant. It is like waking up from a dream and realizing that the dream had no real impact on you. How can one practice or cultivate this understanding in their life? The key is self-inquiry and mindfulness. Regularly asking ourselves, who am I? Helps dissolve the layers of identification with the body, mind and emotions. Meditation and practices that enhance awareness also play a crucial role. By observing our thoughts and actions without attachment, we gradually start experiencing the state of pure consciousness described in the Astavakra Gita. What role does the concept of witnessing or sakshi bhava play in understanding the self? Sakshi bhava or the witnessing attitude is fundamental. It means being a detached observer of our thoughts, emotions and actions. Instead of getting entangled in them, we watch them as if they are occurring outside of us. This practice helps us realize that we are not the thoughts or emotions but the awareness behind them. This witnessing stance leads us to experience our true nature as pure consciousness. Astavakra mentions that the world is a projection of the mind. How should we interpret this? This means that our perception of the world is shaped by our mind. The qualities we attribute to the world, good, bad, pleasant or unpleasant, are projections based on our conditioning and beliefs. When the mind is clear and calm, we see the world in its true essence, free from our biases and projections. This understanding helps us navigate life with equanimity and compassion. How does one deal with the mind's constant fluctuations and distractions in the pursuit of self-realization? The mind's nature is to fluctuate, but through consistent practice of mindfulness and meditation, we can learn to calm it. Engaging in practices like breath awareness, mantra chanting and silent observation helps stabilize the mind over time. As the mind becomes quieter, the awareness of our true nature becomes more prominent. It is like the surface of a lake. When the water is still, you can see the reflection of the clear sky clearly. Can you share a practical method from the Astavakra Gita that individuals can apply to their spiritual practice? One practical approach is the practice of detachment or vairagya. This involves consciously observing our attachments and gradually letting go of the compulsive need to control or possess. By practicing detachment, we start experiencing freedom from our desires and fears. This aligns with Astavakra's teaching of recognizing our true nature beyond the transient experiences of life. How do we reconcile our responsibilities in the world with the teachings of the Astavakra Gita? The teachings of the Astavakra Gita do not negate worldly responsibilities, but rather change our approach towards them. When we realize our true nature, we perform our duties with a sense of detachment and equanimity. We engage in actions without being overly affected by their outcomes. This perspective allows us to fulfill our responsibilities while maintaining inner peace and harmony. Lastly, how can the wisdom of the Astavakra Gita contribute to global peace and harmony? The Astavakra Gita teaches us to see beyond differences and realize the underlying unity of all existence. When individuals understand their true nature as pure consciousness, they transcend ego-based conflicts and divisions. This realization fosters compassion, understanding, and respect for all beings. As more people embrace this wisdom, it creates a ripple effect, contributing to a more peaceful and harmonious world. Thank you, Gurudev, for sharing these profound insights on the Astavakra Gita. Your explanations provide valuable guidance for understanding and applying its teachings in our lives. You are welcome. The Astavakra Gita is a timeless guide to self realization and inner freedom. May its wisdom inspire and uplift all who study it. Jai Gurudev.